came up with the idea. CEO Marissa has You should be pleased about that because they are watched by people who, are young, people who wouldn't perhaps listen to, say, Rush Limbaugh or wouldn't watch Fox News, and they're getting a deep education. They're learning about the concepts that are actually relevant. In fact, 4 years ago, when Donald Trump won his surprise 2016 victory, a PragerU video that I had the pleasure of working on about the Electoral College did 50 million views in the wake of that election. As Americans started asking questions like, what is the Electoral College? Why do we have an Electoral College? And who was there to answer, who was there to stand in that gap? Our friends at PragerU. In our new partnership with PragerU, we will bring DailyWire.com members the entire PragerU catalog behind our paywall on our, we call it an SVOD service, a streaming video on demand service. That's the way you watch Ben Shapiro on thedailywire.com. It's the way that you watch Andrew Klavan on thedailywire.com. And now you will be able to watch the entire catalog of remarkable, evergreen, prescient, and important videos from our friends over at PragerU. One of the important steps that we're taking, A, to give more value to our subscribers, but more than that, to make sure that you are exposed to the exact content that you need to arm you for the battles that are ahead and to replace this media, academic, institutional structure that is aligned against us. It's not enough to fight the battle of ideas in media. We have to fight it on the level of education, too. We have to teach people the things that they currently do not know. We will be doing that with our friends at PragerU. We couldn't be more excited about it. I'm also going to welcome to the show a good friend of, well, no one. The man has no friends, but he is a Daily Wire host, and he's sometimes with us when he's in town. People ask all the time, why isn't Matt Walsh part of Backstage? Why isn't Matt Walsh part of your election night coverage? Matt Walsh doesn't like us, and Matt Walsh doesn't like airplanes. And when you don't like us, and you don't like airplanes, and you live literally 3,200 miles away, you're just not going to be on the damn show, people. I'm sorry. I try. Believe me, I try. Oh, Matt, what if we sent you a first class ticket? And he's always like, oh, will they make me a mimosa? I don't know, Matt. It's COVID. I can't promise it. Well, if you can't promise me a mimosa, I can't possibly do it. But he is with us tonight, streaming in from his new digs in Nashville, Tennessee, where he'll be obviously much more integrated, I think, into some of these broadcasts than he's been able to be in the past, because we'll be together finally. Our good friend, Matt Walsh. Matt, thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me. Thank you for that introduction. It is true that I don't like anyone, but I do my best to pretend. Not very well most of the time, but I do try to pretend.
You're not fooling anybody, Matt.
So, Matt, as a very cynical human being who's always downcast and depressing, are you downcast and depressing tonight, or are you upbeat tonight? And if so, why?
Well, my projection was that Kanye West would win the presidency, so I'm feeling depressed about that. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't know. Looking at it right now, it seems like things are kind of trending like they did in 2016. And no, I certainly wouldn't call myself optimistic because I never am. But I think if that's how it turns out, then it's no big surprise because, of course, the Democrats are going to, if they lose, they're going to be talking about voter fraud and all these different things. But the reason why they lost, if they lose, it's simply because they're horrible and they've done absolutely nothing. They've done not one thing in the last 4 years to attract new voters, especially the voters they need in some of these states. Everything they've done has been to appeal to, pink-haired gender studies majors and BLM looters. That's everything they've done in 4 years has been just to appeal to that set. And what we discovered maybe at the end of the night is that there aren't enough of people in that category to win a national election, but we'll see.
So, Matt Walsh, we have been ripping on the media all evening long, and we expect you to do the same as an employee of DailyWire.com. We are now billing ourselves as replacement media because our media are such garbage. So please, spend the next 2 minutes and 37 seconds ripping the crap out of the media because it is well-deserved.
Well, I mean, no, I'm actually a big fan of the media. You should have brought me on for that. I love the national media. Listen, they've, you look at some of the images in D.C. and in New York and you guys have talked about this in some of these cities where they're boarding up windows and they have to call in the National Guard. In the past, when I've seen other countries doing that sort of thing for their elections, I've always felt good that and felt sort of superior and thought, well, we don't do that here. I feel so good that we have peaceful elections and we don't have to worry about that. And now we have become that sort of country, and we know we have the media largely to thank for it. And it's no big surprise when you go around telling people that you've got literally Hitler in the White House and he's evil to his core, and and there are police officers who are prowling the streets, hunting and murdering black people. I mean, these lies have consequences, and we're seeing the consequences, and they're intentional consequences too. This is what the media wants. So I have nothing but contempt for them.
Well, Matt, that's exactly what I was looking for. So honestly, you've just given me what I was looking for right there.
Matt, I want you to stick around with us as we welcome our next guest. I told you that we've made a new partnership with our friends over at Prager University, and indeed, we've always had a partnership with our friends at Prager University, from helping with the animation of some of the videos from the earliest days of the company, nearly the earliest days of the company, to also Michael Knowles and I and our own Jared Sichel having the opportunity to work with Alan Estrin on many of the scripts. We've always seen PragerU as a bit of a sister company, and we're really pleased that we'll be working more closely going forward. And here to help us celebrate that new partnership and to analyze the events of the evening, we have our dear friend, Dennis Prager. Dennis, welcome.
I am your dear friend.
You are our dear friend.
I love you guys, and I'm going to say, I did not expect to say this, but it is what it is. If the Republicans win, it's larger than Trump, but if the Republicans and the president win, you and what we do and Turning Point and others, we have made a difference.
Yeah.
And I am thrilled that we have, because this country is too important to the world. Lincoln was right. It is the last best hope on earth. And allow me to say one other thing. The story of the day is the boarding of the stores in America's cities. You could cry that we have lived to see this day, but there's something even more dark about it. That no one, we are. The media are not, and a lot of Americans are not blaming the left for the fact that people are boarding up their stores.
Right.
As if I heard a thing on one broadcast. I don't remember what. Chaos will break out. That's like when a 5-year-old. Yes, it's like when a 5-year-old spills grape juice on a white tablecloth. It fell.
Yeah.
No 5-year-old says, I spilled it. That's what this is. No one does the riots. It's chaos breaking out.
At best, and that's if they don't actually blame right-wing violence.
That's right. Well said. That's right.
And the shocking thing too is that these are not riots of the lower orders. These are riots inspired by the richest, most successful, most powerful people among us, inspired and encouraged by media giants, by Amazon, by Netflix, feeding into a narrative that makes people enraged at their country and makes people feel that this is an evil place. The very people who have succeeded most here are the ones who are selling this narrative.
So there's a phenomenon that I've been thinking about for a while here. There's an author named Nicholas Nassim Taleb who writes about this, called renormalization, and it's how fringe ideas are basically laundered into majority propositions. And I think that's what we've been watching with regard to the tolerance for rioting and looting by this small group of people. The basic idea here is that if you have, let's say, to do this briefly, let's say that you have a family and one of the members of the family is vegetarian, and they say, okay, I can only eat vegetarian, but you can eat what you want. The mom is going to make one meal and it's going to be vegetarian for everybody because she doesn't have time to make 2 meals.